Hello and welcome to your June 9th daily briefing. Today we have some updates regarding the next stimulus check and the next stimulus package based on some comments made just this morning, and I break down what we can expect next based on the Senate calendar. Then later on in this video, I dive into some stock market news that I think will be very important to hear for any investors out there or potential investors. So starting off, Republican members of the Senate have some comments on the next stimulus check and the next stimulus package. It's been stated that they do not expect to be able to pass another stimulus bill until mid to late July. This, unfortunately, is the exact guess I made in yesterday's video. Yesterday, I had said that because many people are interpreting the unemployment numbers as being good, which to me, they seem awful, but that's a whole other story. I won't go on and on again about that again. We will likely see a delay in the next stimulus bill until mid to late July for a Senate vote. You know, it's always nice to guess something right, but I would have been totally fine if I got that one wrong. I was totally off base and it turned out to be a much sooner expectation. But hey, that's why you tune in, because I give it to you guys straight. So the Senate is in session for just over 3 more weeks before they leave for the July 4th recess. The reason for the delay is the Senate is placing its energy and its priority on other bills, including a Department of Defense bill, the Great American Outdoors Act, and some decisions to be made on some circuit judges. After all of that is taken care of, then they're going to be looking at the good old relief bill that is just like getting kicked to the side and not cared about. So taking a look at their calendar, we can make some assumptions as to when a reasonable time to expect the next stimulus bill is, which would include stimulus checks. Most likely, we're still looking at like probably a 60% chance that there's going to be stimulus checks in the next bill. So, like I mentioned, they are spending the next 3 weeks on other issues and other bills, so we can assume nothing will happen in the month of June unless there is some kind of miracle that happens. I mean, I have read a few sources that said Mitch McConnell hasn't explicitly said a stimulus bill won't be passed before the 4th of July break, but just about everyone else in the Senate seems to be saying no. And yes, I could hype you all up saying that there's still a chance that it could be passed before then and title this video that it's promising and exciting, but I want to be realistic with you all, even if that means I get less clicks on a certain video. So back to the calendar. The Senate works through June, and then they have a 2-week break from July 3rd to July 17th. The 18th of July is a Saturday, so the first realistic day of discussion is the 20th of July. From there, let's feel positive and say it takes a week to negotiate and pass a bill between like the 27th and the 29th of July. Then the House votes on it between, let's say, the 30th of July and August 3rd, and then the President approves it around the 6th of August. Now, this is really disappointing, but it's hard to see a situation where it could happen sooner unless some catastrophic event happens and all their other priorities get pushed to the side and this becomes the #1 priority. Because we're still hearing this, well, let's wait and see, things might recover, we might not have to spend as much, which is a tough decision because yes, we want less national debt, but I just see personally all these people who are struggling in my comments, who are messaging me, who just don't have enough to get by, they don't have jobs to come back to. There's just so many people who just need assistance. And normally the way I feel about assistance is generally it's kind of like less assistance the better in normal times. However, this is just not normal times, and I just feel so much more different about this situation because it's just so much different. It's a wildly different situation that we're currently in compared to normal times. So a bill that is passed on the 6th of August means that most people get a stimulus check around the beginning of September and beyond. I mean, there's still people waiting for the first stimulus check. Not many, but there are some. And if we do get another stimulus check, it'll likely be pretty much identical to the first one, meaning that however you receive the first one, you'll probably receive it the same way the second time around. Now, I'm not sure how the 30 plus million jobless people are going to be able to make that work, especially with additional unemployment expiring July 31st. Could potentially be looking at a month or more between when new benefits start, or there's just some plan for those people. I mean, on the other side of this, many Democratic members are pushing for an earlier bill before the recess, including Charles Schumer, who has said there's no reason we can't solve all the bills needed before the recess. I don't know about you guys, but I would prefer to complete my work if I was a senator or a legislator before my 2-week vacation. I wouldn't want the economy weighing on me while I'm sitting on the beach. I mean, just my opinion. How do you guys feel about that? Would you want to, I mean, it seems simple to me, or not simple, but it seems obvious. All right, enough of that. Let's move on to some stock market news. Last week, the stock market finished up high. The S&P 500 was up, the Dow was up, the NASDAQ hit record levels. This increase was largely due to the jobs report that turned out to be not quite accurate. Once the news broke that the data wasn't really accurate, it was off by about 3%, I thought to myself, well, we're going to see some kind of major correction on Monday because of this, because stocks jumped. Because you think, all right, the data is false, stocks go back down. But who would have guessed it? The stock market doesn't care that the data was wrong, and numbers increased even higher on Monday. I was shocked when I saw this. People seem to be seeing the increases in the last few weeks and not caring what's actually happening in the economy. They're just looking at that number increasing and want to be a part of it. I believe that this increase is due just to people trying to catch the wave of the market. It's not really any positive economic factors as far as I can tell. 3 months ago, no one wanted to buy in when everyone was selling, but now prices are up and everyone is just having a heyday, it seems. I know I'm getting 20 times more messages about the stock market in the last week than I was before that. You remember that old quote, be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy? Everyone's heard that quote. Well, right now, people are being greedy. Well, I do think we will see the market go up further. I just don't believe the numbers are founded in reality right now. I'm not saying don't invest in anything because there's still probably some good buys out there, but just be careful is all I'm saying. Do your research and don't just buy because others are. And man, I hope that I don't sound like I'm being negative or dramatic on today's video, but I just see these glaring issues in all these like expectations versus reality, and many of the markets are now just nearing or passing 2019 numbers. So let's just really look at both sides here. On the cautious side, we're seeing a spike in cases from COVID in areas that have reopened, and who knows what will happen in places where thousands of people are standing shoulder to shoulder protesting. Could a second round be worse than the first of COVID of an outbreak? I mean, we're just really not sure. There's major uncertainties there, and this will all affect the markets. On the other hand, there have been articles and sources stating that COVID is hard to transmit on surfaces, unlike how they had said before. There's some people refuting that, but there's some people saying it. And those who don't have symptoms are unlikely to transmit it. So this could be cause to believe that it's all overhyped and the economy will recover quicker than we would expect. So either of these arguments aside, let's go back a minute. Markets are passing 2019 numbers. In 2019, we saw one of the lowest unemployment rates ever, one of the largest bull markets ever, and COVID wasn't really even a thing. At least its effects hadn't done anything to the economy yet. So if you're betting on the markets right now, you're effectively making one of two assumptions. First, you could believe that the markets deserve to be higher now than they did in 2019. But that's a really hard argument to make if you look at any available data. Yes, things are opening, but the overwhelming amount of data seems to show like we're not doing that great yet. There's hope, but it just hasn't been realized yet. Or second, you don't care about any of the economical data and you're betting that you buy in now and someone else will pay a higher price later for your shares or whatever you're buying in. Yes, you can make money with this, but this is called the greater fool's theory. You're just betting that someone else is going to pay a higher price later. but this is closer to a gamble than it is an educated investment, is all I'm trying to say. And again, these statements are mostly for the market as a whole. There are surely a few individual good buys out there available if you're willing to do the work and find them. If you are willing to do the research or you want to be a part of just the excitement, feel free to use my link in the bio for Webull, the brokerage. You'll get 2 completely free stocks, and you can watch to see what happens in the market without actually risking any of your own money because you get 2 free stocks. So that could be a fun, exciting way to get into the markets and just kind of analyze what's going on so you can be ready for the next time something crazy happens in the markets and there's a big dip. Then you can put some money in and make some real returns because you're buying in low. Right now, by definition, you're not buying in low if you're buying in. So just be really careful is all I'm saying. Either way, we're definitely living through history right now in just about every sense of the word. I've personally been writing just little entries every once in a while about what's going on in the world, so like 30 years from now I can look back on it and just think about how crazy everything is right now. So anyways, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.